There's a famous line from Rav Kook, often quoted this time of year, Mars HaKodesh, where he says that if the Beis HaMikdash was destroyed and the Galus ensued because of sinas chinam, because of baseless hatred, the way to fix that is through ahavas chinam, right? Unconditional love, baseless love. Rabbi Akiva says the same thing. That love of your neighbor as yourself, that is the main principle of the Torah. The problem is some people make this mitzvah really hard to fulfill. They have a lot of problems. They do a lot of things wrong. Their beliefs, their corruption. How do you expect me to love such a person? The Tzemach Tzedek, the third Lubavitcher Rebbe, in his book Derech Mitzvoseka, explains that such a notion of Ahavas Yisrael is fundamentally wrong. Right? It sounds crazy to us also, but how often do we really think that way? That's just totally missing the point of Ahavas Yisrael. He explains the mitzvah in an amazing way, starting with the story of the convert, going to Shammai and Hillel, asking them to convert him on the condition that they teach him the entire Torah while he stands on one foot. He goes to Shammai, asks that question, and Shammai quite literally chases him out of the building with a stick. Didn't work so well. Okay, so he tries Hillel. And Hillel responds, "Da alecha sani, lechavrecha lo san." That which is hateful to you, don't do to your friend. Zehi kol haTorah kula. That's the entire Torah. Now, Tzemach Tzedek asks, I get, we're coming from Rabbi Akiva clearly, this idea of v'ahavta l'recha chamocha, but why does he flip it to the negative? The Torah says, love your neighbor as yourself. He comes and says, that which is hateful to you, don't do to your friend. Why does he do that? Why does he turn it around? Tzemach Tzedek says this is the way to reach Ahavas Yisrael. We all have our imperfections. We have our problems, and we're aware of them frequently enough. But I have self-love, and I have patience with myself, and I can say I'm still growing. It's okay. This is forgivable. What's one of the most hateful things someone can do, or the hated feelings incited by something someone does, is when they come over, and not in a way trying to help me to grow, but they point out those problems very clearly. Why are you so impatient? Why are you rude? Why did you do that? Right? Someone comes over to me and does that. I hate how that feels. It really doesn't feel well. Tzemach Tzedek says, that which is hateful to you, when someone comes over and points out all of your flaws, when see the problems in you, when sees what's not right, don't do that to your fellow Jew. Right? And he says that we have a perspective that we're separate entities, where I have my world, he has his world, I have my beliefs, he has her beliefs. Well, that's going to lead to seeing those differences. That's going to lead to seeing those problems. He says when we have the proper perspective that we're really all one, we're Nishmas Yisrael, we're one Jewish soul together, we're connected with that same self-love and justification that I had to myself for my issues, I'm going to be able to have that to another Jew. Right? Yes, they're not perfect. Yes, he has that problem. Yes, she is this issue. But that's not what I'm looking at. I'm not looking at what makes us different. I'm looking at what makes us similar, what makes us connected. I can overlook that problem and see past it. I can love them for being part of me, kamocha, like yourself, like I am connected to that person. So when we see ourselves that way, it naturally awakens Ahavas Yisrael. That self-love, that same self-love that I use to be patient with myself, I'm going to be patient with them. How do we come to Ahavas Chinam? By avoiding looking at all the problems, all the differences, that which makes us separate between me and another person. Instead, I look for the good. I look for what makes us one, what makes us connected. How are we similar? Look for that good in someone. And even if it takes digging deep, really searching for good, searching out that good part of that person and seeing that. Don't look at the negative. Don't look for the negative. But looking for that good. in another Jew. That naturally awakens Avas Yisrael, Avas Chinam, that basis, unconditional love. With that, when we do that, it'll bring us to being the Mashiach, the Gula Shlema, the binyan of the Beis HaMikdash, third temple, speedily, Mehera B'Yameinu in our days. Amen.